tell you the forestry business was never like this. But thank you, Jill, and everyone for coming out today on what we hope is the first day of a real spring here in Wisconsin. So as you know, on Monday, local citizens submitted well over 23,000 signatures and petitions to the Government Accountability Board.
Thank you.
Asking for the recall of Senator Luther Olsen. Suspense left, and I don't think there probably is. I'm here today to tell you that with the almost certain calling of that election by the Government Accountability Board, I have filed the necessary paperwork, and I declared my intent to challenge Senator Olsen in the recall election for the 14th. Table. It only took 6 minutes, but it's going to take a lot longer now. But take all the pictures you want. I do want to tell you that I don't make this decision lightly. I didn't wake up November 3rd after a really tough re-election campaign for my state assembly seat and say, gosh, I'd really like to run for the Senate now. I didn't do that. And in fact, up until very recently, I'd never thought for a moment about running for the Senate. So, and I didn't make this decision because Madison Democrats wanted me to. In fact, there were a lot of them that didn't want me to. But my job is to listen to the people here at home. Thank you. So when hundreds of thousands of citizens travel to the state capitol and come to almost every community in this state and make their voice heard, I believe it's time to listen. Yes.
We're nice in Wisconsin.
All right, let's be respectful, please.
Be civil.
When over 850 volunteers worked 7 days a week in one of the worst springs in recent memory, and over 23,000 voters in this Senate district asked for a recall to occur, I believe that they have a right to have their voice. Woo! There are many people today who believe that we should only be holding recall elections under the most extenuating of circumstances. This is it.
Olsen won already.
So I believe that we're in those extenuating circumstances right now as a result of the actions of our governor and leaders in the legislature. Our state is divided in a way that it has never been divided before in most of our memories.
Got that right.
And we're facing decisions today that will define the future of this state for years to come. Governor Walker introduced a legislative proposal disguised as a budget repair bill. It was full of non-fiscal proposals designed to almost completely eliminate the bargaining rights of public employees, dismantle some of the most successful programs in this state that have placed us among the nation's leaders in assuring health care access to all of our citizens. While a huge majority of Wisconsin citizens oppose those measures, both by contacting their legislatures and by exercising their right to civic protest, Governor Walker and legislators, leaders and the Republicans in the majority of the legislature simply ignored them. I watched our leaders repeatedly violate legislative rules and ultimately violate state open meetings laws in their obsession with passing this bill at any cost. Despite his assertions that he was hoping for a compromise, I watched Senator Olsen and 17 of his colleagues walk into the Senate, take a vote on an amended version of a bill that I assure you they had never read because it was not even fully drafted, and walk out without debate. I personally asked Senator Olsen, both in person and in public, that as a respected legislator, he use his influence to work for a compromise on this legislation that he himself described as radical. Well, there are over 23,000 citizens in this Senate district today who are deeply disappointed that he did not do that.
Yes.
Characterize this controversy today as a battle about unions. And I can assure you that for me and for many of us, it is much more than that. I am deeply concerned about the future direction our state will take under Governor Walker's proposals and under his proposed state budget. And there is no issue I am more concerned about than the future of our public education system.
We're broke.
We are standing today.
Be quiet. Let him serve your get out. Don't conduct ours.
We are standing today in a building in which thousands of Baraboo residents received their education and ultimately graduated from. This town is full of civic leaders today who walked out of this building with an education and with a diploma and who entered adulthood. Public schools across this state are the institutions that define and bind together our rural community. This budget proposes crippling cuts to public education. It will further erode the quality of our public schools and will further diminish the education of our students, who ultimately have to go on and become productive members of society. As the Vice Chair of the Senate's Joint Finance Committee, Senator Olsen has made no public statement questioning the governor's priorities in education. And he is the lead author of legislation that will further erode public education by pulling additional millions of dollars out of public schools and dramatically increasing the scope of private and charter schools across this state.
For the rich.
Now, I like Senator Olsen personally. He and I have worked together successfully on many issues. And that is why I only made a decision to run in this recall election after a great deal of reflection, and it's a decision that I don't make without some regret. I spoke with Luther today, and we both agreed that we wished we were in a different place in Wisconsin. The fact is that I believe Senator Olsen has stopped representing his district, and he's been willing to go along, to get along, to follow the leadership in Madison, even when it goes against the overwhelming interests and the wishes of the people he was elected to represent. Right now for every school kid, for every working family, and for every citizen in this state to let that happen. So today I am launching this campaign for Senate District 14. this is going to be a very active campaign, and there are strong feelings. I can assure you.
Luther!
I can assure you. This will be a respectful campaign, and it will be a very active campaign, and I will be in every community and every corner of the 14th Senate District. Because I believe that I'm better suited to represent the interests of this district at this important, critical juncture in Wisconsin history.
Thank you.
I'm asking for your support today, and I want to thank you for being here.